Welcome to Kautilya. Today's topic is disaster management. Before going in details into this chapter of disaster management, we need to learn few things like what is a disaster and what is this management and why we need to manage these disasters. If you see the recent past, every part of the country or every part of the world is encountered with many kinds of disasters. Either it may be a natural disasters or it may be a man-made disasters. So these disasters are claiming many lives. It varies from 100 to thousands. So then emerges a concept called disasters management. And what actually this disaster management and from where this disaster management have been arrived. So this disaster is not a new to the mankind. Man has encountered with these disasters in olden days during the early civilizations. Regarding to these disasters and regarding to these disaster incidents, many Puranas, many Mesopotamian cultures has mentioned about these disasters, how these disasters have washed out many civilizations. And now comes the word from where this disaster has been erased. So if you see this in Greek language, das means bad, aster means star. The calamity that is due to the position of the planet or star. Actually, the term disaster has been erased from the French word des astres. And before going in details into this disaster, we should know the facial features of disasters. Among the facial features of disasters, first one is vulnerability. What actually is vulnerability? A society or a community which readily accepts the disaster, we call that community or society is less vulnerable. Means which readily accept the disastrous conditions. They doesn't have any capacity to cope up with the disaster or to encounter the disasters. So let's see this. So this is the capacity and this is the hazard. If hazard is high and capacity is low, then the vulnerability is low. Means the community will be severely distracted. If the hazard exposure is high and capacity is low, so then the vulnerability is high. If the vulnerability is high, then the society or community can resist the disaster up to certain extent. If hazard exposure is low and capacity is high, then vulnerability is very low. If exposure to hazard is low and capacity is low, then the vulnerability will be low. That means what I am trying to say is, the more lower the vulnerability, less is the impact of disaster. More higher is the vulnerability, more is the impact of disaster. Next one is hazard. Hazard is an event where it has a high potentiality to destruct or destroy human lives and its surrounding environment. Hazard cannot be prevented, but disaster can be prevented. Hazards results in disasters. So when hazard will turn into the disaster? When vulnerability meets the hazard, it results in disaster. So I am using the term disaster, disaster, disaster. What actually this disaster is? Let's see. Disaster is an event which shows negative impact on society. Negative impact means it severely distracts the society. In what ways it distracts the society? Economically, ecological destruction, and claiming of many human lives. This altogether results in the situation of terror-like situations in a society or a community. So, these disasters are classified into two types: natural disasters and man-induced disasters or man-made disasters. What actually these are natural disasters? These disasters are occurs by naturally by themselves. These disasters cannot be prevented, but we can reduce the intensity of these disasters. But man-made disasters can be prevented if you are having a proper infrastructural or institutional mechanism or proper planning. So let's see what are these natural disasters and what are these man-made disasters. How many categories they have been classified? Let's see that. In case of natural disasters, it has been categorized as three types: meteorological, topographical, and environmental. What are these? Meteorological are related to these climates. So floods, tsunamis, cyclones, hurricanes, typhoons, blizzards, and hailstorms. And topological disasters, these are earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, landslides, avalanches, and asteroid impacts. Environmental disasters, global warming, ozone depletion, and solar flakes. These all comes under the category of natural disasters. Natural disasters may be slow in manner or rapid in nature. Slow onset of disasters can be categorized as drought, famines, where rapid onset of disasters are floods, tsunamis. These are the categories of rapid onset of disasters. Next, man-made disasters. Man-made disasters are categorized into technological, industrial, and warfare. If you see this transport failure, road accident, air accidents, water accidents, these are all classified under the transport failures. Next comes these chemical spills. The best example for this chemical spills is methyl isocyanate gas released from the Union Carbide factory, which claims many lives. Thousands of people have been died because of leakage of poisonous gas methyl isocyanate. And war situation results in complete destruction of infrastructure, service sector, as well as it claims many people. It harms many people. So these are the categories of man-made disasters. And next, see what are the components of this disaster management. As I told you that we need to manage these disasters. We need to manage these disasters means there should be some components like planning, prevention, recovery, rehabilitation, and mitigation. Let's see each and every component in details manner. First one is prevention. We all know that there is a famous saying, prevention is better than curing. So we need to prevent these disasters. How we can prevent these disasters? Either it may be man-made disasters or natural disasters. So for that it requires an institutional framework, infrastructural work, and proper planning. So in case of India, there are many government departments and municipalities, NGOs, and many voluntary organizations which altogether coordinate to the reduction of or prevention of disasters. Next one is Mitigation. Mitigation is nothing but reducing the severity of the disorders. So how we can reduce the severity of disorders? So based on this, mitigation is classified into two types: active measures and passive measures. What are these active measures? Planning controls, training and education regarding to the disasters, and economic assistance from government or any other bodies, and public information. And what are the passive measures? Requirements to conform with design codes, checking the compliance of control on the sites, and court proceedings. So regarding to the court proceedings, so what happened before disaster, what are the conditions that leads to disasters, these kind of things we can come across in these court proceedings. Next one is preparation. We already know that a particular disaster is going to be happen, and what are the precautions, what are the things we should make ready to prevent and to mitigate the severity of disasters. Let's see the diagram. So in case of disaster, we should have proper medical supplies. We should maintain the proper stocks of medical supplies, and doctors and nurses should be available in a proper time in a particular place. Next, food commodities should be supplied in a proper hygienic manner. Next, water supplies, clothes, and communication through radios by time to time, and paper communications. These are the preparedness categories which can reduce the impact of disaster, or we can totally prevent the disaster. Next one is response. Already disaster has been taken place, and what are the immediate responses we should take to make the society to bring into a normal situations. So first one is mass evacuations. We should shift the people from disastrous place to normal place. Next one, setting up of medical camps and treating the people who are severely injured, and securing food and water facilities, providing adequate shelter and sanitary facilities, development of search and rescue teams, and maintenance of law and order. Next one is recovery. Recovery means bringing back the destroyed society or community into a normal position. How we can bring that particular society or community into a normal position? By building the roads, by repairing the destroyed roads, by restructuring the communication links, and by establishing or reconstructing the damaged buildings, and by providing financial support to the employees. So by doing all these measures, we can bring the society into a normal position as soon as possible. That's what's this recovery. And the next one is rehabilitation. Rehabilitation means providing the people with temporary shelters and providing the people with economic rehabilitation. And social rehabilitation means counseling the people and bringing them back to this normal situation from the disaster impact situations. And next one is legal institutional framework of disaster. Before 1999, in India, there is very less institutional or infrastructural framework in India to encounter the disasters. So after 1999 Bush earthquake, India has established a high-powered committee regarding to these disasters. This high-powered committee brought the disaster management under the Ministry of Agriculture in 2001, and in the year 2002 this disaster management was shifted from Ministry of Agriculture to Ministry of Home Affairs. Not all the portfolios of disaster have been shifted to the Ministry of Home Affairs. Some are rest with this agriculture only. So let's see what are those things that left with Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Home Affairs. And next one, in the year 2005, January 23rd, Union government did an act called National Disaster Management Act. This act leads to the formation of National Disaster Management Authority. In this National Disaster Management Authority, integrated structure of disaster management have been established. That means Union or National Disaster Management Authority, State Disaster Management Authority and District Disaster Management Authority. Three-tier structure of disaster management authority have been established, which comes under the Act, National Disaster Management Act 2005. And the concept of disasters comes under the or introduced in the 7th schedule of the Constitution. That means regarding the acts or legislations regarding to the disasters can be done by the Union government or by the state government. Next one, National Disaster Management Authority. It is the apex body of disaster management. This National Disaster Management Authority was headed by Prime Minister, who is an chairman of this National Disaster Management Authority, and he was supported by the vice chairman and remaining 4 of the members. This National Disaster Management Authority was supported by National Executive Committee. This National Executive Committee implement the policies that have been taken by the National Disaster Management Authority. And at the state level, State Disaster Management Authority was headed by Chief Minister. He is the chairman of the State Disaster Management Authority. And the policies that are taken by the State Disaster Management Authority will be implemented by the State Executive Committee. And next one is Disaster Management Authority. Disaster Management Authority at a district level is headed by District Magistrate or District Collector. It is the interference between the government and public. Not only these 3-tier structure of an disaster management, many NGOs, voluntary organizations, pressure groups will involve in these disaster management activities, which supports these disaster management activities. So other than these main institutions, there are many other institutions have been established to control these disasters. Before going in details of that, let's see the ministries and the disasters. So natural disasters comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs, except drought. Drought comes under the Ministry of Agriculture. And in case of man-made disasters, except a civil strife, remaining all the disasters have their own portfolios. These civil strips comes under Ministry of Home Affairs. Next one is drought. Drought, as I told you, that it comes under Ministry of Agriculture. Next one is biological and epidemics. It comes under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Next one is chemical and forest related disasters. It comes under the environment and forests. Next one, nuclear disasters. It comes under the Ministry of Atomic Energy. Rather than saying Ministry of Department of Atomic Energy, I will quote like this: Department of Atomic Energy is the accurate term. Next one, air accident. Ministry of Civil Aviation. Railway accidents. Ministry of Railways. And industrial accidents. That comes under the Ministry of Labor. These are the different disasters and which comes under this different portfolios. And next one is in other institutional infrastructures which helps in supporting these disasters, and among them the prime one is National Disaster Response Force. It is a combination of different battalions. It is a combination of 10 battalions where they have been trained regarding to the different disasters, and these forces have been established at different places across India. Whereas in case of Andhra Pradesh, it was established in Vijayawada, because in Andhra Pradesh the coastal belt is mostly affected to the floods and tsunamis. So because of that reason, National Disaster Response Force was established at Vijayawada. So like this National Disaster Response Force are the trained force regarding to these disasters, will immediately jump into the situation and they will control the situation and reduce the impact of the situation. So like this we can control or prevent the disasters, but we cannot prevent the hazards. So this is regarding to this disaster management, and these are the brief topics regarding to this disaster management, and we will learn in detail manner of each and every topic in the next classes. Thank you.